You tune in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Go by AskTheIceman.com for news and information on the Iceman Show and on our subscription packages, which are monthly and also annual. Also, if you're interested in advertising at AskTheIceman.com and also on these various videos that I upload, go by AskTheIceman.com and get information on what type of advertising package that you would like for your business and or event. They're broken down by the week. So if you have any questions, you can hit me at theiceman.show.com. No, theiceman.show@yahoo.com or asktheiceman.com @gmail.com. So you can do that, and I will give you further information if you so desire it. You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. I wanted to do a quick video on something that I saw online, and I'm sorry about these pictures being flipped backwards. Every time I upload these pictures, it comes back backwards, so you can't read if there's any writing on any of these videos or any of these background pictures. You can't read the writing unless you really pay attention. Which but I know most of you are not going to pay that close attention. We already know that. Before I get into what this background picture is about, if you just look at it from basic observation, what you see is a bunch of ugly ass Brits standing in front of a banner. Now let me read to you what the banner says. And that's going to be the basis for what I talk about in this video. It's on the first line. It says, "Thank you, DFID." It says, "We couldn't carve up Africa without you." And it lists 4 major multinational corporations that are not only doing commerce in Africa, but they're also doing some low down, dirty ass shit in Africa. Let me explain something to you. If you don't protect your home, and when I mean your home, I'm not just talking about the home you live in. I'm talking about your community, your homeland, everything. If you don't protect it, somebody else is going to come in and steal. And so basically this group of ugly ass Brits are celebrating their perverse or perverted colonialism, corporate colonialism in Africa. They are going in there and stealing their natural resources. And whenever you set up an economy in somebody else's country, you also are controlling the politics of that nation, which is why it really makes Africans look stupid when they allow these Europeans into their countries. It usually ends up that the people end up getting the short end of the stick. and I found it to be like I've said in a lot of videos. The white man doesn't have a moral or ethical compass. Okay, he doesn't, and that's why he does the things that he does on a regular basis, because in his mind he feels he doesn't have to. You feel like it's okay to do that. Now, while you're sitting around playing one little silly ass game, maybe you're hustling some man for child support, maybe you're hustling your grandmother as you live in her basement, or you hustling your mama or your aunt out of making you get up off your ass and get a job, go to school and graduate and get a job. These white folks are going around the world doing evil shit and padding their pockets. And then they're being assholish and bragging about doing it. As you can see with this banner they got that says, "We couldn't carve up Africa without you." Well, they wouldn't carve up shit at my house. Okay? They wouldn't carve up a goddamn thing. They couldn't carve up anything unless you let them. Okay? And that's what these Africans do. They let these honkies come over there and fuck over them. And then they sit up here and whine and continue to put themselves in positions where they're getting shitted on. And they can't get no help from us because we're so busy trying to buy name brand stuff and buy video games and waste all our fucking money on bullshit that we're not paying attention to how we're getting pimped over here in America. So there's no way we can reach over to Africa and try to help them. I remember talking to, well, I ain't even gonna mention this bitch, but I remember talking to somebody who had just come back from Ghana. And she said that Ghana was giving away thousands of acres of land for any black Americans who wanted to farm over there. And I was reading an article in the LA Times with a brother who had moved from, I don't know where he had moved from in the United States, but he had a good job. He was a college educated brother. And he went over there to Ghana and took them up on their offer. And now he owns about 50 acres of farmland. No, take that back. I think he said he owns about 100, over 100 acres of farmland. And now he sells those crops, the proceeds from those crops, to not only Ghana, but other African countries. Okay? So as you can see, when black people use their heads and think the way white folks think when it comes to starting businesses and working for themselves, we end up winning. And so now this guy is a farmer making hundreds of thousands of dollars over there in Ghana. He quit his career over here and moved over there full time. He built a house on his property, and he said he loves it. He said, "I love the fact that the police officers are black, the government guys, the government people are black. He said, my neighbors are black. He said, I do live out in the country. But he said people are very friendly with me, especially since I'm from America. They treat me like a king over here. He said, I haven't been back to the States in years. I love being treated like a human being ought to be treated, instead of dealing with racism and bullshit over here. So the point that I want to make to you guys is this. Why are we allowing assholes like these ugly jerks to take their nasty asses over to Africa and shit on our people over there? For you not to feel an affinity for your people, not only just over here in America, but over there in Africa, you're an asshole. You're an ignorant asshole, and you're an ignorant asshole that's going to contribute to our extinction. Because you got to understand something. In order to extinguish a people, you don't have to use a gun. What you could use psychological warfare, which is what they're doing here in America. They have turned our people against each other. And so many of you waste millions of dollars a year buying products from white-owned companies, putting money in their pocket, and then turn around and getting shitty with the Iceman because I don't want to post comical videos. Okay, well, I'm canceling my paid subscription because this is not what I paid for. I didn't pay to hear videos on economics and education and all this other stuff. And I'm like, bye, dude. I don't need your money, dude. If you're an ignorant dumbass nigga, I don't need your money, dog. Go somewhere else with that shit. Two things you're not going to get on my show every time I post a video for paid subscribers. You're not going to get comedy, and you're not going to get all law at Christianity videos. Okay? I don't support organized religion of any kind, and you will not hear promotions of that here in America. You're not going to get that here. Okay? What you're going to get is objective facts that can help you move to the next level. And it's something else I wanted to talk about too. You know, I get a lot of assholes who talk shit about, hey Ice, I want to hear videos, the first few videos that you did back in the day. Granted, these are not paid subscribers. And I tell some of those people, look, let me explain something to you. Are you interested in making progress, or do you want to stay in the same spot? That's my question to these people. Do you see, the Iceman's trying to make progress. I'm not trying to go backwards. And the reason why black people are in the condition they're in today is because we don't want to make any progress. We're not about progress. We're about staying in the same spot or going backwards. And there was a young, really intelligent brother that came by my videos probably about 4 or 5 months ago, who said something really that really stuck in my mind. And he said, Ice, think about it. We make up 14% of the population, and yet we don't own any more assets than we did after slavery. Think about that. We got all these college educated black people. We got all these black folks who got good jobs, and yet we don't own anything. We don't own more than we did when we just got out of slavery. And he said, Ice, let me break it down for you. That's where the institutional racism falls into place. When you provide a substandard education, when you sell integration to people and you con people into abandoning their communities and spending money in their communities to help feed and clothe and house their own people, and you trick people into spending money out at the suburbs, in the suburbs, making them rich, making people who don't look like you rich, and then you create a prison industrial complex. Essentially, after a while, you learn to control a group of people, whether it's 40 million or 400 million. This is the same tactic that was used in South Africa. You got 40 million black people and 5 million white people controlling them. That's why I laugh at these Mexicans that run around here talking about, oh, Latinos are taking over. Latinos are taking over. Really, motherfucker? How are you taking over? Because y'all having all these fucking babies? Let me tell you something. Numbers mean nothing in America when you control the government and the money. And even though you might have a couple Mexicans that are mayors of some medium-sized American cities or some small cities around here, that means nothing. Because you could best believe, especially if they're Mexican, they're a bunch of ass kissers. It's just like in San Antonio. San Antonio has some of the worst abject poverty I've ever seen. You go over there in South San Antonio and it looks like fucking Juarez, Mexico. It looks like Nuevo Laredo down there. Okay? You go over there, nasty ass, raggedy houses, bunch of old nasty Mexican kids running around with no diapers on, no shoes on. I mean, you should see some of these people. They are some disgusting fucking low class grunt people. And San Antonio is 62% Mexican. They don't run shit in Mexico. Them white folks that live in Alamo Heights and in the middle of the city and northwest San Antonio live in them $1 million houses, they're the ones that actually run San Antonio. The Mexicans ain't running nothing. Yeah, they got them up there window dressing as the mayor, and you got a couple Mexican dudes that are city council, and then also congressmen. Yeah, you got a couple of them that's running shit as far as the government is concerned, but still, city government ain't don't have no real power. Okay? So you really have to ask yourself, follow the money, and that's where the power is. So that's why I tell all you guys that sit up here and send me messages talking about, fuck you, Ice Man, I ain't supporting your show, I ain't gonna spend no money, get no subscription to your show, and go fuck yourself and all this kind of stuff. I laugh at you, because what you have to understand is when you go out here and spend all your money, 97% of your income out here, outside your community, those of you who live in the hood are going to be adversely affected after a while, because the city services go down. There's no jobs in your community or your neighborhood because there ain't no community. The white, everybody who's a different race moves into the black community, sucks off of it like a fucking tick, and then they send the money back over there to their communities and build communities, build neighborhoods into communities and send their kids to Harvard. While your sorry asses walk around the hood smoking crack, smoking weed, and shitting on each other and cannibalizing each other, and putting down blacks like me who got the fuck up out the hood. Well, continue to do that. And these assholes in this picture are going to love you for it. Okay? Because oftentimes, too many black folks are sitting around doing this shit. Okay? Too many black people are sitting around enjoying themselves like these two. Now, these two might be college students, but maybe not. This is exactly how I see most of you guys. Sitting around doing nothing. And then when you're not doing nothing like these two idiots, well, I ain't gonna call them idiots because, you know, when he's not probably entertaining her so he can keep her little fine ass over there to the house, he's out trying to find some way to keep her around. So you can't even concentrate. Most American men from 18 to 80 can't even concentrate on building anything because you got childish fucking black women who want you to sit around and kiss their ass and make them feel good and stroke them. So you constantly have to entertain them and make them feel good about giving you some pussy. So after a while, yeah, you get brothers who really don't want to do anything. A lot of the brothers that I went to college with that was trying to keep girlfriends around, a lot of them even dropped out of school and got jobs because they were so busy trying to entertain some black bitch that they didn't have time for anything else. They barely had enough time to work and make money. That's why I think these two are college students. But as long as black people are sitting around playing around and clowning, the white man can go all over the world and shit on us and take our natural resources. And for some of you to be sitting up here talking about you don't feel any connection to Africa. You sound like a fucking fool, dude. Well, what continent do you feel a connection to? Fucking China? Europe? Come on, man. Come on, dog. What the white man is doing is not complex. It's not complicated. The problem is that most of you are so indoctrinated with self-hate and contempt for other black people that even if we try to move forward and make progress, you find a way to try to knock us back 50 steps with your bullshit. Okay? And so as far as I'm concerned, it makes my job even harder. Because instead of you working with me, you working against me. Now, I'm not talking about you subscribing to the Iceman show. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just being a basic black person that has love for each other. You guys have no love for your own people, man. But you want to sit up here and criticize me. And like I said, I'm undeterred. You're not going to deter me from doing for my own people. And just like I was telling a relative tonight, I said, man, the main reason why you got denied for 90% of the stuff you applied for with for VA Service Connection Disability is because you didn't listen to me. I told him. I said, man, you didn't even fucking listen to me, dude. And he said, yeah, you right, Ice Man, you right. I didn't listen. You fucking stupid ass idiot. I told her, I said, man, you sitting up here trying to be a hard ass and try to be difficult, and you end up fucking your money up. Had you listened to me, you would have got your money. I told you before you applied for VA disability that you should be going to the VA getting treated. But no, you wouldn't listen to me. You sitting up here ignoring my ass. Now stupid ass got denied from damn near everything. I said, man, that's your fault. You gonna be an asshole and not listen? I'm like, man, fuck you. Now his ass sitting around crying. Okay? Now his ass is sitting around talking shit to him about, yeah, you right, man. Yeah, you right, Ice Man. I fucked up. Yeah, you goddamn right you fucked up. Had you fucked with me, have you done things the way I told you to do it, you be over there with empty nuts. Now you sitting over there with dry balls, pissed off. Now they fucking with your money because you want to sit up here and act like a fucking idiot. When I look at Food Network and I look at diners, drive-ins, and dives, and I look at all these ignorant ass white people who own restaurants. You know why them white folks own restaurants? Because you know what? You don't see, white folks know they don't have to be intelligent to make millions of dollars. They don't have to be intelligent. They just need to have the balls to set out on their own to do what it is they're trying to do. Whereas black folks will have all this fucking knowledge, but will sit around and work for white folks and complain. It's just like them niggas that worked for Paula Deen. Now, she just closed Uncle Bubba's Oyster House down here in Savannah, talking about they're looking for another use for the property. They just straight up closed shop on Wednesday. They didn't even tell them. Them people came to work on Wednesday and they said, hey, we're closing. They knew they were going to close 6 months ago. It must have started losing money. Although all them honkies was talking about, well, we got to support Paula Deen anyway. I don't care how many times she used the N-word. Well, somehow, some way, Uncle Bubba's ain't open no more for whatever reason. Now, apparently, they still own the property because they talking about they want to do something else with the property. But Paula Deen is a prime example of using black folks to build her businesses. Because I did a video on one of her employees probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And what I talked about was how white folks will sit up here and hire black people to work for them and will tell you, oh, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, and they'll never do shit. Meanwhile, they stealing all those black women's recipes and stealing all their cooking techniques. Because I've said this on many occasions that I felt Paula Deen was a fraud whenever I saw her on Food Network. I thought she was a fraud. I'm like, why is she putting butter in every fucking thing? Okay? Okay, she putting butter in every fucking thing. She got that from black people. But see, she don't really know how to cook, so she overdoes it. And then all the stuff she was cooking on Food Network was a bunch of bullshit anyway. Try to act like she was cooking soul food. She was cooking a bunch of white bullshit. Okay? Anytime a dish has tater tots in it, it's some white folk shit. Okay? The only thing Paula Deen educated me on was sticking a stick of butter up my ass. Whenever I feel like I'm not regular and I'm feeling kind of constipated, instead of taking some medication, I just stick a stick of butter up my ass. Guess where I learned that from? You guessed it, Paula Deen. I used to buy some of Paula Deen's shit from Walmart when they had her food line up in Walmart. And everything I bought was butter this, butter that, butter cake, butter this, butter that. Everything had butter in it. I said to myself, why am I buying this shit? I mean, obviously this was like almost 3 years ago when I bought some of her cakes and shit from Walmart. Now when I go to Walmart, they don't sell none of her shit. Although I think they sell some of it, they just don't put her name on it. But they probably kept her recipes or kept that particular, because they're manufacturing and producing her shit anyway. They just put her name on it, but now she ain't getting paid for it. Okay? But black people allow themselves to be ripped off, and then they turn around and the only person they complain about is another black person like me. I even had niggas send me messages talking about, with that video when I was talking shit about Paula Deen. Do you know I had niggas sending me messages talking about what's wrong with Paula Deen using them black people using their cooking techniques? I said you mean to tell me you don't see anything wrong with it? That this woman stole all her fucking knowledge and was using all these people's fucking cooking techniques, and yet they didn't get any kind of royalty payments or from her using their recipes. None of these black people, matter of fact, most of these black people barely made $10 and $11 an hour working for Paula Deen's ass. Okay? I remember, the first time I really realized white people were full of shit and that you can't believe nothing that white people say. I remember I went to a white junior high, and I used to work in one of the administrative offices at that school. And there was a white girl that was in there with me, but she ended up taking another class for that period, and I ended up by myself. So one of the ladies that worked in the office, she said, because you had to do more work, I'm going to give you something nice at the end of the year. Well, I did that white girl's job and I did mine. And at the end of the year, that white woman didn't give me shit. As a matter of fact, I didn't even get a thank you. Okay? And that's the first time I start realizing that you can't believe nothing that white people say, because all of them lie. You can't believe nothing they say. And see, the reason why black people keep getting played by whites in America is because we keep listening to their lies. We keep listening to Democrats tell us that it ain't the right time right now. You'll get your shit in a year. And then a year come back around and then they'll tell you again, oh, black people, it ain't your time. Next thing you know, it's 40 years later. And it still ain't your time. Well, it would be your time if we practice group economics. It would be our time if you spent 97% of your money at black-owned businesses. But you don't do that because you hate being black. You hate black people. And you definitely hate black people like me who are trying to get somewhere and make progress. You want to stay in the same position you were at 20 years ago. That says more about what's wrong with you more than it says what's wrong with the Iceman. Okay? If you've been listening to me for almost 4 years now, and you want to sit up here and listen to videos I made 4 years ago, it's obvious you ain't trying to make any progress. Because those videos weren't very good. So why would you want to listen to something I did when I basically had no format? I was just running my mouth. That says more about where you're going than it does where I'm going. Because with or without you, I'm moving forward. Most of you want to stay in the same position, which is why black people don't make any progress in this country. But yet you want to sit around and complain about the Democrats not doing nothing. They ain't supposed to do anything. The Democrats and the Republicans report to the same master. They serve the same master. And at the end of the day, neither Republicans nor Democrats are going to do anything for you. Obama's been in there almost 8 years, and when he leaves office in 2 years, you won't be any better off than you were before he got into office. When Clinton spent 8 years in the White House, and when he left, we were worse off. But yet you want to sit up here and talk shit about the Iceman show. You want to sit up here and criticize me and talk about I'm trying to live off my own people. I'm trying to become the Reverend Ike of YouTube. I'm trying to be the Creflo Dollar of YouTube. Okay? Black people, all you do is hate on each other, and then you get mad about not making any progress. And the white man's laughing all the way to the bank off your silly ass. Because he ain't getting all my money. I do business with black-owned business owners. And yeah, sometimes they do things that I don't like. But I give them the opportunity to rectify the situation because I understand they're black business owners. Okay? You want to sit up here and get mad at one little thing from me and then send me a message talking about you just, cancel your subscription. Do what you got to do, man. But you're a fucking coward. You're not going to give me a chance to rectify a situation, but then you're going to let Comcast Cable or DirecTV steal your money every week and not give you shit in return, but then you're going to turn around and let them fuck you over. You're going to turn around, let them get all your fucking money, and give them a chance to continue to keep fucking over you. But then you're going to come at me talking about, hey man, I don't like the fact that you ain't posting no comedy videos or I didn't get my links to the videos. Well, dude, why didn't you just send me an email and ask why you haven't received video? Maybe there was a mistake on my part. I ain't trying to fuck you over, but don't be a fucking asshole and not give me a chance to rectify a situation. I'm only human, dog. You gonna let the white man take all your fucking money? I've seen niggas go to white-owned restaurants and get the shittiest of the shittiest of the shittiest food. And then sit there and eat it, and complain to all the brothers that's sitting at the table. But these same niggas won't say something to the waitress. Hey, there was something wrong with my fries. There was something wrong with my hamburger. Oh man, I ain't gonna complain, man. But then the rest of the night, this nigga's complaining about how fucked up his fucking steak was and all the money he spent. But then we'll go to a black-owned business and this nigga is complaining the whole fucking time. Talking about, hey man, this nigga's this nigga that, this nigga, man, I don't like this, man, I don't like that. Okay? You're a fucking coward, dude. You gonna complain to the black man, but you ain't gonna say nothing to the white man, and he giving you garbage every time you go in his business. You ain't complaining to Comcast or Time Warner about your $200 cable bill and how sometimes your internet don't work or sometimes your cable don't work for whatever reason. But you ain't going to complain to the white man. You ain't going to complain to McDonald's and Burger King about their lousy ass fucking food. But you going to go to a black owned restaurant and complain about their shit. Not even giving them, give them a chance. You give Honky McGee 50,000 fucking chances, but you can't give the black business owner any chances. You know what? The Iceman's going to go forward, and you can stay back here in the starting blocks if you want to. And like I said, I've said on many occasions, you brothers and sisters who want to be progressive black people and you want to move forward and you love black people and you want to help the black people who want to help themselves, let's roll together and do what we got to do. Fuck the rest of these niggas. Leave their asses behind. Because they ain't shit anyway, and they're dead weight. You tune into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Go by AskTheIceman.com for information on my show, for monthly and annual subscriptions to my show. You won't be disappointed. If you're looking to be further educated, if you're looking for black love reinforcement, if you're looking for progressive black thought, subscribe to the Iceman Show today at AskTheIceman.com. You tune in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Holler at your boy.